Shockingly, a large chunk of retail traders out there don't even bother with position sizing. They just chuck a load of money at it. They chuck some, contracts, lots onto it and hope they get lucky. And they wonder why they end up losing. And now with the evolution of the funded, futures prop world, the futures market massively growing and of interest, makes it even more complex to come up with the right position size. But there are some straightforward methods. I've got two here today to show you that you can use, or you should be using in your trading. Very straightforward to calculate. I'm going to take you through them, a bit of the simple maths behind it. I'm going to show you then how I automate that to make it even easier still. So let's get into it. So these are the two methods that I'm going to go through today. Number one, the fixed fractional percentage. At a bare minimum, that's so easy to apply, you should really be using that, but I'm going to show you how. And then we got an interesting one, Kelly. It helps you scale up the winners, more dynamic. I'm going to take you through that too. So let's start with the fixed fractional percentage. So let's start with the fixed fractional percentage method. And we've got a three-step process here. We run the first two simultaneously to put into the third one together. So we need to work out two parts of the equation. The first part is the risk budget in dollars. And that is simply the portfolio value times the risk fraction. So for example, if you had a portfolio value of $10,000, you wanted to risk 1% per trade, that would equal a risk budget of $100 per trade. Then also you need to be calculating the dollar risk per contract. And what is that? Well, that is the stop distance times the point value. So you've worked out where your stop should go, then you times that by the point values. How do you calculate the point values? That's just a tick size, tick value divided by the tick size. So then we have our risk per contract. And to find out how many contracts we need to trade, we then quite simply take the risk budget, so it'd be like our $100, and divide that by the risk per contract. And that is quite frankly all you need to do. And I've put it there all together in one full combined formula. As you can see, number of contracts equals, in those brackets, the portfolio value times the risk fraction divided by the stop distance in points times the point value. That is that. That's all we need to know how to get the right position size for our futures contract that we are trading. Quick example, trading MES, which is the micro S&P 500 contract. We've got starting capital of $1 million. We want a risk per trade 1%. That gives us a risk per trade of 10,000. Our stop is 10 points on this trade, and we know that every point move on the MES is $5. So that's $5 times 10 points, which gives us $50 risk per contract. So the position size is $10,000 divided by the 50 equals 200 MES contracts that we would be trading. Simple as that. Now, Kelly is our second method, and it's one I personally use in my trading. It allows you to scale up the winners, the home runners, a lot easier, but also helps you work out expectancy. So it's a great all-round tool, this. But we're going to look at three different ways of using it: the full, the fractional, and losers in a row. And as it says there, we don't really need to do much different for the contract formula calculation. The only bit of difference here, though, is how the risk fraction changes, and we're going to look into that formula right now. Now we're going to start with the full, Kelly, and I would advise you not to use this in your trading. This is one for the casino, but we need to start with this formula, and it's very simple. And if you're doing your trading job correctly, you should be keeping your statistics, and all you basically need to put into this is the average win percentage or decimal and your average risk return. And you can see that in the formula. You throw those numbers into that top right formula there, and you'll come up with your Kelly's percentage. If it's positive, that's good. That means you've got an edge anyway. And the bigger the percentage number is, the bigger you would risk on your portfolio. So if you had 100,000 pound portfolio, dollar portfolio, and it said risk 40%, you would be risking 40,000, which, as you can imagine, is psychologically very hard and also financially very risky. So what we do is we use different methods like fractional Kelly, or say an approach like losers in a row. We're going to take a look at those. And really what these two versions are doing are just taking the full version and dividing it by a factor. Now the fractional one divided by 2, 4, 8, very popular, but I like to use the losers in a row methodology because I've done back test. I know I can expect to wear maybe 8 or 10 in a row, losers in a row in that strategy. That helps me in many ways because I know I've got an edge for the strategy in the long term, but also got drawdowns to worry about, those other risk factors. That helps me psychologically wear that period of time, and I know from my testing that that's fine to go through, but it allows me to create the correct size to live through that period. So they're the two versions on there. Like I said, I prefer the losers in a row, but it's not much different to the full, but like I said, just divided by a multiplier, so a fraction of what the full one is. So a quick Kelly example here for you. We're going to use the losers in a row method. So first of all, we calculate the full Kelly. We got a win rate set of our strategy 50% and a risk return of 1.5 to 1. That gives us a full Kelly of 16.67%. That would be too chunky for me for any one trade. So we divide that by 10 to give us 1.67% per trade. Now our $1 million original budget, that's times that percentage, it gives us 16,667 per trade. So using the same trade, the MES, S&P 500 micros, that's $50 risk per contract. So we just literally divide the 1667 by the 50 to give us 333 MES contracts. You can see how that's bigger than the fractional percentage, because obviously we're using 0.67% more, but that builds in more of our edge to the risk sizing methodology, which I like so much. A top tip for you now, get to know the underlying instrument, because the tick size, the dollar per point moves are pretty much all different per contract. So I'm in the CME website here, cmegroup.com. We go to the markets page. We're looking at the micros here, and we were looking at the S&P 500. We can click on there. We can bring up their specifications, and we can then, once we do that, there we go, there's the specs. We can see the contract unit, we can see the tick size, we got all the information we need to calculate our positional size. And like I said, get familiar, go through the website, find the products you want to trade, and get to know those variables. What I did though is I decided to automate it, and it is really easy to do, and you can do it in Python. You could do it in Excel if you wanted, but Python makes it even easier. Very straightforward to do, and I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of this setup I've got here. So it goes to Data Bento, for example, to pull back the information that I need, so I don't have to look up any websites. And I've got a whole load of instruments set up here. You can see we're on the S&P 500. We're looking at the front month. We've got a portfolio value of 100,000. We can play around with there. We've got 10-point stop on this trade. And I've picked the Kelly example there. And I'm going to use the Kelly losers in a row. You can tick on those methods that we looked at just a minute ago. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say I've got 8 losers in a row. I hit the calculate size, and it pulls back. It's got the primary contract, which is the S&P 500 main futures contract, which says we could trade 4, but let's concentrate on the MES, that's the micro. We could actually trade 41 of those because our risk per contract is 50, as we saw in our example. The risk budget is 2,083, 33, because our win rate, I've just plugged in just random stuff, 50% win rate, average win, 1.5 to 1. So that gives us that $2,000. It's rounded down to the actual risk used. You can see the tick size information, the tick value, so we never have to look them up. Point value. We see the stop in ticks because that's the 10 times the 4. to give us our 40 ticks, and then basically goes away, calculates the contracts that we need to use using the formulas that we just ran through. But then if I wanted just to use a fractional calculation on the same contract, I'll just click it to that, and then it will reset, and I'll go through the variables, same stop distance, and then I hit calculate. And there you go, there's the fractional method. We're using 1% per trade. Let's go down to the MES. We're going to be using 20 contracts because our risk budget's only 1,000 of that 100,000. It's a lot smaller. Gone away, done the calculation, and we can trade 20 for that trade. So really simple approach, but like I said, look, there's a drop down. You can scroll through, pick off your different markets that you want to quickly work out the trade size for. All set up in one spreadsheet version view here. Use something called Streamlit to produce that. Very simple. Let's have a quick look at the code actually before we round this up. So here's the code, not too much to it. First of all, we've got our products catalog in there. That's all the markets that we're looking at. I've got my own preset and ones that we look up straight to Data Bento. Then we've got our utility helpers, and that's the housekeeping layer. Handles things like time conversion, safe number handling, rounding contracts down, and formatting timestamps for display. And, you know, like I said, doing that sensible rounding down, which is very important when we're trading the futures contracts for getting the right size. And we've got the Data Bento access layer. Its job here is to talk to the data provider, request the contract definitions, request recent price data, bring that information back into the app in a structured format. Then after it's done that, we've got the definition and price resolution. So it's going off to Data Bento and trying to get the continuous futures symbology. Cleanest way to get the front month stuff. It's getting the logic that we need in there, and then it goes into the tick and point value logic, which is critical for getting the calculations right in the size, as you can see in there. And then we get to the risk sizing engine. And what does that do? Well, that's the heart of the build. It's where the app stops being descriptive and starts making an actual risk decision. I've separated the sizing logic cleanly so the app can support more than one risk model. On one side I've got fixed fractional sizing, as you know, and the other the Kelly approach. But whichever route the chooser uses, chooses to do, the actual workflow underneath is the same. So define the risk budget, work out the risk per contract, and calculate how many contracts a portfolio can carry without breaking the risk limit. And then we've got the Kelly logic that we've just whizzed on through there. You know, the different methodologies, the fractional Kellys, the losers in a row Kellys, and then we end up to the front end, the Streamlit UI. That's going to be our presentation layer, make it all look nice, where the user can interact with, you know, all those different markets to come up with the right position size for your trading. So there you go. It looks complex, but I can tell you very straightforward, easy to put together. If you know anything about Python, you know, this was the way to go if you want to make your trading, like I said, easier and more systematic and get the errors out of the trading so you're on that right size. If you want to build this sort of tool yourself, you've got no Python experience whatsoever, or you're just new to Python, got you covered. Got a course called Mastering Python for Trading. I'll put the links to that in the description below this video. But also I'm putting the code that you've just seen in there for free within that course, so you can actually take that, and as long as you know the basics of Python, you can set that up and run it yourself. So check that one out. But if you want to go a bit more advanced, you know, this sort of engine, this position size engine, fits very nicely into, say, a Renko bot process. Was one of the layers that you would need to construct and build if you're trying to automate your trading. Again, got a course, the Renko Bot Build e-course, also available, links in the description to that as well, and the code for this again in there for free if you have that course as well. So hopefully I've got you covered on there. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know how you calculate your risk size in the window below. Do you use Kelly's? How do you get on with it? Let me know as well. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification buttons, because plenty more content coming your way very soon. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the next video.